What absolutely makes no sense. The rules to post on r/shower thoughts. I've had every goddamn post of mine removed, and the mods just said it's a popularity hort like fuck you. I just spent 30 fucking minutes combing this shitty subreddit to confirm how original I am. Even worse, the fact that you can buy bans for others on r/justice is reserved. Pay to ban people you disagree with, yup, some justice. Why customers continue to gripe at me, a lowly store employee who literally has no part in what items the store stocks, about our store being out of stock of an item. This isn't getting enough attention. Just general abuse to people whose job is trying to help you. It's not my fault you waited until the last second to order a product that is so popular that it's selling for 9 times its retail value online by scalpers. It's not my fault that you didn't know this burger had pickles on it. Lamau bro, the amount of times I hear but I have bought it here before and we have never carried that item. You can shatter a bone and it will heal itself, but if you get a tiny cavity you gotta get that filled. Never thought about that. Kinda glad it's not the reverse of that situation. Happy we don't have to fill cavities in our ribs or whatever. Inability to get dental care is one of the strongest reasons not to go live in some remote location. Good lord, that scene in Castaway where he takes his own tooth out because he couldn't take the pain of the abscess anymore. The platypus. The platypus looks like whoever created it decided to cut and paste various parts from other animals and call it done. In fact, it only gets weirder the more you learn about it. Edit, I found the thread I was looking for. The duck-billed platypus is so strange looking that when the man who discovered it sent a taxidermied specimen back to the Royal Society in London, he was accused of sticking a bunch of different animals together to claim a new discovery. Edit, the platypus is, in fact, my favorite animal, mostly because the list of things about them reads like an explosion at the Nature Factory. To recap, one of only 2 species of extant egg-laying mammals in the order Monotremata, surnamed because of the single opening which serves as urinary, defecatory and reproductive passage. They lack nipples, so milk is excreted in patches on the mother's skin, which the babies must lick. The males have a venomous spur on their hind legs, which is capable of incapacitating a fully grown adult human. The pain of platypus venom can last anywhere from a few days up to a few months. Keith Payne, a former member of the Australian Army, was hit with a platypus spur on his hand, and described the pain as worse than shrapnel. He still reported problems such as pain and stiffness with that hand 15 years later. When threatened, they emit a noise very similar to a growl. They don't have teeth. Instead, relying on hard keratin pads for eating, they can detect prey by sensing electric fields, and they are drawn to minute electrical impulses such as those given off by muscles moving. When on land, they walk on their knuckles to avoid damaging their front webbed feet. The females have 2 ovaries, but only the left one is functional. They are thought to have evolved beyond the use of an acid-filled stomach, likely because of their diet. Both of the extant monotreme species are well represented in pop culture, with notable examples being Perry the platypus, from Phineas and Ferb, and Knuckles the echidna, from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. They don't do much. How Hawaii has an interstate. Technically, shouldn't it be an interstate? Takes you only an hour to get from one side of Oahu to the other. Honolulu is the 4th densest city in the country. It's one of the most isolated major cities in the world, and yet everyone needs a car and there's no public transit outside of buses. And Oahu isn't even the worst example of urban planning in the state. Hilo on the Big Island is basically laid out like a Texas suburb. Dust. Something sits there and does nothing and it gets dirty. I used to think it was skin cells, popular belief, but then I'm like, what about abandoned houses? Do homeless people break in, throw down layers of skin everywhere, and sneak out again every night? Where does it all come from? Related to dust, something could mean to remove dust or to add dust. Gestures vaguely. If the way this world works ever starts to make sense to you, you need to start worrying about yourself. You get it? The fact that the government knows exactly how much tax you owe but doesn't tell you unless you underpay. Exactly. Why can't they just figure it out themselves and send me a bill? That famous/rich people get a lot of things for free, while they are the ones that can afford everything. Along similar lines, working in a credit union, I encounter far more well-off people bitching about the $5 fee for their cashier's check when they have tens of thousands in their accounts. Meanwhile, the people living paycheck to paycheck are far less likely to ask for me to waive the fee. Maybe a lifetime of bitching about fees is how they amassed their wealth in the first place, but at what cost? Ben Folds has a song about that phenomenon, Free Coffee. Now they save me my place over there in the corner and I never get tickets. Yeah, I only get warnings, but when I was broke I needed it more, and now that I'm rich I get free coffee. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.